Why do men and women experience attraction so differently? Why does one person feel ready in seconds while the other needs time, emotional safety, and the right mood? The answer is not personality. It is your brain wiki, and science has the proof. Welcome. Today, we are exploring one of the most fascinating topics in all of neuroscience: how male and female brains activate differently during sexual arousal. Stay with us. This video will change how you understand yourself and your relationships forever. Scientists use a powerful tool called an fMRI machine, a brain scanner, to watch the brain light up in real time. When researchers used it to study sexual arousal in men and women, what they discovered was completely remarkable. Think of male and female arousal like two GPS routes heading to the exact same destination. Same goal, completely different roads. One is a straight, fast highway. The other is a rich, detailed network of streets, each with its own important checkpoints along the way. Let us start with the male brain. When a man encounters a sexual stimulus, especially a visual one, his brain reacts with remarkable speed and directness. The response is almost automatic. The visual cortex picks up the stimulus first. In men, this visual information travels almost instantly to the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm center, which immediately flags the cue as important and pleasurable. This entire process happens within milliseconds. From the amygdala, the signal floods directly into the reward system, the nucleus accumbens, and dopamine is released right away. The brain sends one very clear message: this feels good and I want more of it. Scientists call this the neural highway. It is direct, fast, and powerfully efficient. Visual input arrives, the amygdala reacts, dopamine fires, the body responds. This entire chain happens in seconds, with very little thinking or filtering involved at all. Testosterone is the fuel behind this fast response system. It increases dopamine sensitivity in the reward center E, making pleasure feel immediate and intense. The higher the testosterone level, the stronger and faster the arousal signal becomes. At the same time, testosterone reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's thinking and judging center. This means less second guessing, less overthinking, and more direct, unfiltered sensation. The thinking brain steps back. The feeling brain steps forward. Now, let us look at the female brain, and this is where neuroscience becomes beautifully and fascinatingly complex. The female arousal pathway is not a highway. It is a rich, distributed network, and every single station on that network truly matters. In women, the prefrontal cortex activates first, not last. This is the brain's evaluation center. Before arousal can fully form, it asks important questions. Is this safe? Is this person trustworthy? Does this feel emotionally right? Am I truly present in this moment? Then the anterior cingulate cortex activates, a brain region that integrates emotion, conflict, and meaning. It is weighing how the experience feels emotionally, not just physically. Is there real connection here? Does this moment feel meaningful and significant? Next, the insula switches on. This brain region heightens awareness of every internal physical sensation: warmth, touch, breathing, heartbeat. Women become far more consciously tuned into their own bodies during this process than men typically do. Then the hippocampus joins in, the brain's memory center. It draws on relationship history, emotional memories, and past experiences to shape the current arousal response. Women's arousal is literally informed and shaped by everything that has happened before. So while the male brain follows one straight and direct road, the female brain runs through a rich, interconnected network: prefrontal cortex, anterior cingulate, insula, hippocampus. All of these regions activate and process together before full arousal can emerge. Here's the simplest way to understand the difference. Male arousal is like a single light switch: one input, one output, and an immediate response. Female arousal is like a dimmer system with 5 switches. All need to be set correctly before the lights fully come on. The single biggest structural difference is the prefrontal cortex. During arousal, men's prefrontal activity decreases. Less thinking, less filtering, more pure sensation. Women's prefrontal cortex remains highly active, meaning the evaluating and thinking mind stays present throughout. Here's one of the most surprising research findings ever recorded. Women's physical arousal, measured by blood flow, often does not match their conscious feeling of being aroused. The body can respond while the mind says, I do not feel it. Scientists call this the genital-brain disconnect. In studies, the correlation between physical and mental arousal in women is only 0.26, very weak. In men, it is 0.80, very strong. These numbers reveal exactly how fundamentally different these two arousal systems truly are from each other. Scientists developed the dual control model to explain all of this clearly. Your sexual response system has two parts, an accelerator that switches arousal on and a brake that switches it off. Both men and women have both systems, but the balance between them is very different. The accelerator is always scanning for sexual cues, sights, sounds, touch, smell, imagination. When it detects them, it sends signals to activate arousal. For men, this accelerator is highly sensitive and fires quickly and powerfully with minimal input required. The brake scans for reasons not to be aroused: threat, stress, shame, embarrassment, distraction, unresolved conflict. For women, this brake system is far more sensitive. It triggers more easily and requires active, conscious effort to release before arousal can fully develop. Men tend to have a stronger accelerator and a lighter brake. Arousal comes on quickly and is not easily disrupted or stopped. Even stress or mild distraction often does not prevent physical arousal from developing in the male system. Women tend to have a much more sensitive brake. Work stress, emotional disconnection, self-consciousness, or even one small unresolved argument can press that brake firmly and shut arousal down completely, even when physical stimulation is already present and active. The most powerful insight from the dual control model is this. For women, better sexual experience is often not about pressing harder on the accelerator. It is about identifying what is pressing the brake and consciously, deliberately releasing it. Common brake triggers include work stress, unresolved conflict with a partner, body image concerns, mental distraction, feeling unheard or unappreciated, or simply being too mentally busy. All of these are real neurological inhibitors, not excuses, not personality flaws. Let us talk about oxytocin, the bonding and connection hormone. Both sexes release it, but in women it plays a central and active role throughout the entire arousal process. Emotional connection, literally and physically, fuels female arousal at a deep brain chemistry level. In men, oxytocin spikes sharply at orgasm, promoting closeness and emotional bonding afterward. This is why men often feel a deep wave of connection and calm after sex, even if they did not feel strongly emotionally engaged before or during the experience. For women, non-sexual affection, a genuine hug, holding hands, kind words, thoughtful attention triggers oxytocin and neurologically primes the brain for arousal. This is not just nice to have. It is biological preparation happening at the deepest level of brain chemistry. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is a powerful arousal suppressor for both sexes, but it hits women especially hard. High cortisol reduces sex hormone production, sensitizes the brain's entire threat detection system, and directly and forcefully activates the brake. When you are highly stressed, cortisol suppresses the hypothalamus, the brain's master hormonal control center. Less GnRH is released. Testosterone and estrogen levels drop, and desire fades away. This is not a choice or preference. It is pure brain chemistry at work. Men respond more powerfully to visual sexual stimuli because their visual cortex has a faster, stronger connection to the brain's reward circuits. A visual image can trigger the reward system within milliseconds, before conscious thought even fully registers what was seen. Women can absolutely respond to visual stimuli, but the brain takes a longer, more filtered path. Visual information travels through prefrontal and emotional regions first. The context surrounding any image matters just as much as the image itself, sometimes even more. Research shows women respond more powerfully to narrative-based arousal, a story with characters, relationship, emotional arc, and rich context, rather than pure visual images alone. The brain needs emotional and relational meaning to fully complete the arousal picture. Women's arousal patterns also shift naturally across the menstrual cycle. During the follicular phase, when estrogen rises, Dopamine sensitivity increases and desire is naturally stronger. During the luteal phase, when progesterone rises, arousal becomes more emotional, quieter, and slower. Here is one of the most important neuroscience findings for all relationships. Emotional safety is not just a preference for women, it is a neurological requirement. Without it, the prefrontal cortex stays locked in evaluation and threat detection mode, and full arousal simply cannot develop. For men, the most common brain-based arousal disruptor is performance anxiety. When the prefrontal cortex suddenly re-engages, worrying about performance or outcome, it overrides the sensory motor pathway and can shut down male arousal rapidly and completely. The neurological solution for both sexes is the same: mindfulness. Bringing full attention back to the present moment and physical sensation reduces prefrontal overthinking, releases the brake, and allows both arousal systems to function exactly as they were designed to. Open, honest communication between partners is not just emotionally wise, it is neurologically necessary. It creates the safety conditions that allow both brains to move fully out of threat detection mode and into the pleasure and arousal systems where they belong. Everything we have covered today describes statistical tendencies, not absolute rules for every individual person. Some women are highly visual and fast responding. Some men need deep emotional connection. Individual variation is enormous, real, and completely normal. And here is the most empowering message neuroscience gives us. The brain is plastic. It rewires itself with experience, practice, and intention. Your arousal patterns are not fixed or permanent. They can grow, evolve, and develop entirely new and healthier pathways at any stage of life. So, what do you actually do with all of this? Takeaway 1. Men, stay present and release performance pressure. Takeaway 2. Women, actively reduce stress and mental noise before expecting arousal to develop naturally. Takeaway 3 for both, non-sexual affection matters neurologically, not just emotionally. Takeaway 4, stop comparing arousal timelines. Different neural pathways mean different speeds and neither is wrong. Takeaway 5, emotional safety is biology, not negotiation. Takeaway 6, communicate openly with your partner. It literally rewires both brains toward deeper connection and greater satisfaction. Understanding your brain does not reduce the beauty of human connection. It deepens it completely. You are not broken. You are not too much or too little. You are neurologically wired in a specific, brilliant, and beautiful way. And now you know exactly why. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this science today.